Hello ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. Time for another Metal Earth build. Another one of the brand new Star Wars kits has come out for Rogue One. I'm going with another fighter. This time it is the U-Wing Rebel Fighter, or Rebel U-Wing Fighter. This is new, this is different, this is exciting. I've not seen this before. Perhaps it's shown up in some games that I haven't played. If you know, sure, leave it down below. But I'm going to put it together. Let's open this up and see what's inside. Rebel U-Wing Fighter. We have instructions. We have metal sheets, 2 to be exact. Set these aside. We open up the one sheet of instructions. We have the instructions front and back. And if we look at page 1, we have the usual logo and intro. We have the line drawing of the kit. Down here we have a bit about insertion holes, fold lines, tabs. We have the needle nose pliers are helpful for assembly. We have what I always refer to as the legend, the blue circle. When you see that in the instructions, it means to bend the tab 90 degrees. The green triangle means to twist the tab 90 degrees. And then they have the legend here. If you see an E pointing at something, it's telling you that's the engraved side. NE is telling you that's the non-engraved side. And attention point could be any number of things, but they're trying to draw your attention to something important, whether it's a particular hole or a particular way something is faced, and sometimes there'll be words along with it explaining it. Down at the very bottom, we have the layout of the sheets, so that we can find the parts. Everything is numbered. You can find them on the sheet. There's a number of things that are colored in. Parts that are the same color typically are the same part, and they'll number one, like 21 here. They have this one numbered, but not that one, because they're the same part. So it saves a little space and makes things easier to find. If we slide over to page 2, we have the start of the assembly flowchart. Starting with part 1, part 2 and 3, adding all of those in, circle around. We have a sub-assembly showing how to fold 4 and add that. And you just keep going, following the arrows to assemblies and sub-assemblies. Get to the bottom, of course, you flip it over. And on the back side, you have page 3. And you just continue following the directions, making and folding the parts. And then over to page 4. Just continue, and once you get down to the bottom, you have your completed model. Let's talk tools. I have a pretty standard set of tools that I use in most every build. I have needle nose pliers, I have flat nose pliers, I have flush clippers. These are a must for me. They clip parts off the sheets quickly and cleanly. I have a set of precision tweezers, one with a very pointed end, one with the pointed end ground down slightly, and flat set with a sort of curved tip, useful for twisting tabs in slightly curved areas. I also have a pretty standard set of tweezers with a flat angled end. These come in one of the Iconics kits, and I use them a lot. When it comes to shaping rounded parts, there are many options. I used dowel rods for a long time. I sharpened the ends of 2 of them with a pencil sharpener. These 2 are great for making cone shapes. Another option is a cheap drill bit set. The set has quite a few different sizes to choose from. Another option is a set of step mandrels. Ring pliers or round nose pliers can be found with jewelry making tools and work wonderfully for curving delicate and or hard to get to areas. Curved needle nose pliers to me are very useful for bending over longer thin areas that have obstructions that keep regular needle nose pliers from getting to them and being helpful. They can also be handy in tight places. We've looked over the instructions, some metal sheets, talked about some tools. Let's put it together. There are a lot of fins on the back of this model. To get them to stand at least mostly up straight, you will need to get a good grip on the tabs and pull as you twist, and twist a good 90 degrees at least. It will be tough to get in between all the tabs as you put more and more on, but it can be done. The instructions say to give part 9 an odd little dip inward on the sides. I'm not sure how that was supposed to work, but if you look at the 360-degree view online, it does not look like they did that bend at all with their model. It took me probably longer than it should have to make sense of the instructions at this point. With the half circle flat on top, it did not look like this part could curve all the way around, and then I realized that the flat part is supposed to bend out into a cone shape. I very carefully went around the tube and pinched it with pliers to even out the circular shape. Sometimes there's a lot that goes into shaping a part. This video has been edited down. I've not shown all the different attempts, adjustments, or retries of this build. I also clip out parts where I am studying directions, searching for and clipping parts, and sometimes repetitive steps. It may make this kit look like it comes together easier than it did, but there are a lot of bending and adjusting of parts to make things fit. Work slowly, be patient, and take your time. Sometimes I find it helpful to squeeze down on the seams where round parts connect. It can help to even out the circle. After clipping out the parts for the next section, I realized I had put parts 20 where 16 was supposed to go. Unfortunately, one of the tiny little pieces, part 19, fell out of place, and I was too concerned with breaking a tab opening the engine back up to put it back. I often had to use the more pointed tweezers to bend out the tabs around the engine so that I could grab them with the shorter tweezers and twist, though I did not show that every time. Ever get so involved with the build you don't notice the magnet that stuck to it? Time for more fins, but first I need to push this flap back a little to uncover some slot. I missed one tab in the center in front of the cockpit, but I figured it out later after thinking I was done building the model. Parts 30 attach, then fold over. There's a tight spot, and you will need to pry the engines apart very slightly. The U-Wing fighter, another new one for the Star Wars universe. This was challenging, a little bit more than I expected. I looked at it, I saw the mostly flat body, not too funky at angles. I thought this one won't be that hard. It was only one page of instructions. It might actually go fairly quickly. I've seen the engines, they're round, those can be challenging, but I've done it before. I've got more experience, not that big a deal. Well, they turned out to be a bigger challenge than I thought. I did notice the fins in the back, so that really added to the complexity of it. Getting those fins to stand at least mostly straight is challenging, especially when there's so many that close together. And I was just plain puzzled for a little while how the one half of the engine came together. It didn't look like it would fold anymore. Then I figured it out. But that part took the longest. Forming those 4 different engines, that seemed to take forever. The rest of it was nothing in comparison. I spent most of the 2.5 hours it took putting this one together, trying to get those engines right, and I made some mistakes and I had to go back, which cost me more time. So probably would go faster if I did it again. It probably would have went faster if I had a video like this to watch. Now I'm going to go stick this up with the other X-Wing fighters that I have already built. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and keep on keeping on.